Hey, good afternoon, Major League Football fans. I am Adam McClain, Commissioner of Major League Football. I greatly appreciate you logging into this week's episode of Building It. Some exciting news to share with you. Starting in September, we are taking Building It on the road. So I want to invite all of you to join me as we go to all 24 Major League Football franchise markets. We're probably going to have it at a local brewery somewhere. We're inviting all the fans, the media, the mayor, commissioners, everyone from your community, whether it be the city or the state, is invited. So I'm very excited about that and meeting all of you to talk about Major League Football and your franchise. So please, again, join me. We'll have it on the website, the dates, where we'll be going to, and all the specifics and where we're meeting and the time, etc. So again, I invite all of you and I'm looking very forward to meeting all of you and talking about Major League Football. This week was a great week. Had a chance to get on a phone call with the owner of Rush Media. Super good guy, Tim, and we were going to record it to show it on Building It, but we all were in agreement, our legal team, Tim, that until contracts are signed, the best thing we'd do is just keep the conversations private for now, which is kind of the case. We try to tell you guys as much as we can about the league as we're built, the execution and development, which is the whole purpose of Building It. But some things we have to kind of keep hush-hush until the old ink is dry on the contracts and documents as part of the requirements from our legal team. So, a good week, a good conversation with Tim. They've agreed to broadcast, or not broadcast, but shoot. And I never knew it was called packaging. So actually when you shoot a game and package it to provide it to the broadcast company like CBS, ESPN, and even streaming. So they Tim agreed, or stated, not agreed, but stated they could shoot all 12 games each week on the 16-week season starting in 2025. So I'm very excited about that. That's one less thing we have to worry about, because that's a huge endeavor. And Rush Media shoots D1. They shoot for Fox now. They shoot for CBS, I believe, if I recall correctly. So again, great guy, great team, great company. Looking forward to that partnership with Rush Media. And also, going back to, guys, as I mentioned to you before, there's no one that is more anxious to get the league kicked off. So when we want to give ticket return more time to make sure that we're not rushing anything, to make sure that in 2025 when we kick off, we got all of our ducks in a row. And so, as anxious as we all are, it's the best thing to do is push it to 2025, which I'm glad we did. It's given us a lot more time to implement the whole infrastructure and execute the foundation and establish more relationships with other companies to partner up with Major League Football. So everything happens for a reason. But we got the 24 teams now kicking off next fall, 2025. Starting in this September. In 2 months, we're going to be hitting the road, Building It on the road, meeting all of you. So a lot to be excited about. A couple of things. So I want to talk about this with you guys, because this is kind of interesting, and hopefully some of you or all of you will share your thoughts. Because guys, we listen to what you guys say in your emails. We read the emails. We take everything into account of what you guys, your opinions and your comments. So please sending us emails, okay? And again, I would like to personally invite any of you who want to be on the show of Building It and talk about Major League Football. As long as we keep everything on the positive note, man, we are in, because we got to keep it. We got to, like I was saying, ignore the negativity, obsess on the positivity. So that's kind of my saying there, and I want to keep to that policy, for lack of better words. So going back to, we have a company, and we don't want to announce who it is now, because we're in talks with them. They're a huge company, huge financial company, and they handle the transaction of shares. So we are considering selling shares to for all of our 24 franchises to all of you, the fans. So the Green Bay Packers is the only fan-owned NFL team, okay? And they have 5.2 million shares. There's none available to buy. And I believe, if I recall correctly, the shareholders cannot sell their shares, nor do they receive dividends. Now, follow me on this. So with Major League Football, if we sell shares for all of our 24 teams, that means that immediately that we cannot sell them to a private investor or private investment group. And let me follow me on this again. So we were considering going back to the Packers. They had 5.2 million, if I recall, at $300 a share. We have talked with various members of our accounting team, our legal team, about coming out of the gate around $15 a share for Major League Football franchises, and only putting 1 million shares on the market per team. Okay. Now, the good news is it would immediately generate revenue. It'd get the fans excited about owning a football team. So that's the huge upside. The downside is that after we generate the initial capital or revenue from the sale of the shares, that's great to help operate the league. But long term, some of our franchise markets don't have the stadiums that we want for long term. And an email from a fan that we get a lot of emails from him. He basically said, the name alone, Major League Football, needs to be in major league venues, and we agree. Right now, we're just grateful for the stadiums we have, but long term, for the growth, the development of Major League Football, we need to have sufficient stadiums to play in. So that's a considering factor, or that we have to think about selling shares, because if we sell the teams, like hypothetically after the first season or second season, to someone who has a high net worth, like in the billions, they can budget to build a stadium. Because the days, as you guys are seeing, of these cities picking up using tax dollars to pay for these stadiums, those days are slowly coming to an end. So we have to keep in account what is best for the league long term as far as stadiums. So give us your thoughts on that. If you think it's a good idea to sell shares for Major League Football franchises, or if it's not a good idea. So again, please reach out to us and give us your thoughts. Now, I think I mentioned on the last episode of Building It, we are also in talks with FanDuel about being the official gaming betting partner for Major League Football. And I was somewhere recently and saw one of the TVs. It was a horse race. I was watching on the screen, and there was, up in the top right-hand corner, was FanDuel TV. So we were unaware that they had their own streaming company, and so we started talking about it. We mentioned it to FanDuel, the gentleman I personally that I'm having in talks with about being the official gaming and betting partner of Major League Football. And I said to him, would you guys have an interest in also broadcasting our games? Now, Rush is going to package them, shoot the games, and then provide the feed or the packaging to the broadcast companies. Like I said, ESPN and CBS have agreed to broadcast our games. However, they're not willing to pay us any revenue until we show viewership. So I thought, why not mention it to FanDuel TV and see if they would have an interest in streaming our games. And this is very interesting. I just found out this past week that a company called A Parent Media Company signed a deal with the Dallas Stars of the NHL, and to basically, the Dallas Stars is the first sports team that starting next year will not be broadcasted on television. So through a network. So you're gonna have to watch the games if you're a Dallas Star fan through this company, Apparent Media, and I forgot which streaming their subsidiary company is called at the top of my head. So that is very interesting. So if you'll remember, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Dolphins played that game that was available. It was either on the streaming of, I believe it was NBC or CBS, I can't recall, but that it was only available through subscribers. But with back to the Dallas Stars, a Parent Media company, their subsidiary that signed with the Stars, it's free to all viewers. So they're going to make their revenue through advertising, which is, as you know, that's where all the money is, and that's why all these sports leagues make the money. It's all in ad revenue. So in case you didn't know that, now you do. So guys, so a lot of good stuff. Again, we're still in talks with the company about the shares. We're still talking to FanDuel. We're still entertaining other ways to broadcast our games for next year, so we have time. We are trying to put all of our coaches together, which leads to a question by a fan that emailed to us, that are the players and coaches going to be paid? So all the coaches and players are paid by revenue sharing, meaning that all the ticket revenue, sale of tickets for all of our games, goes into an escrow, will go into an escrow account, and that's how the coaches and players will be paid. So we don't know exactly how much at this point until we start selling all these tickets. And then, so in other words, the coach for the head coach for Oakland will be paid the same amount as the punter for the Alabama franchise. Now, that way, that may very well change after our first season. But what we have to do, and I hope you guys understand this, we have to make sure that we relieve any burden on the league's shoulders financially that puts a strain on the league, so that we are around for years and years to come. And as we start getting revenue from these broadcasting companies like ESPN and CBS, and we start generating other ways and selling a bunch of apparel and other sources of revenue, streamlines of revenue, then we'll restructure the compensation for the coaches and the players. But, you know, guys, again, let's not forget, this is a game. It's fun. I mean, I loved playing football. And these coaches, you know, these coaches like coach high school, they don't get paid. I mean, a lot of them are volunteers. A lot of them, so any compensation at all, a lot of these coaches just want to be a part of something as exciting as Major League Football, as they do coaching for high school or even like Little League. So it's just being involved, professional football. It's just so exciting, and that's the reason why we get so many emails from you guys, because you guys are excited, and that makes us even more excited. So on that note, let's move on to question and answers. This week we got a ton of emails about tryouts. So again, the tryout dates are on the website. As we move closer to next June, we'll have exactly where the tryout locations are for each franchise. We're going to have 24 tryout/combines for all 24. So each franchise market will have its own tryout and combine, and we'll let you know on the website exactly when it's going to be, where it's going to be. There's no, it's not going to be a physical tryout. It's going to be no pads. It's just going to be similar to the NFL combine. So it'll be our first year of our MLF combine. So again, just stay tuned, because we get so many emails. And guys, and gals, this is also, building it is to let you guys know what's going on with the league. So please, tell everyone to watch Building It. And also, one other thing, we're going to have sponsors for when we take Building It on the road. So if any of you guys own companies that want to be a sponsor of Building It, please reach out to us. We'd love you to be a partner with us. as we hit the road and meet all of you guys. So please reach out to us. So let's move to, bear with me 1 second. I'm prepared. Hold on. I just want to do something real quickly. It just makes it easier. I forgot to do this very minor thing. Okay, so Adam McDonald emailed, and I think I answered a lot of what he's asked. He's asking if Major League Football will expand in the future. You know, and this answers a couple other questions. We had a couple coaches, for one, and then another fan wanting to know if we could bring a team. So the coach has a team in Baltimore that wants to add it to Major League Football. Okay, so follow me on this. We have to have a tryout and combine in each of our franchise markets. For number one, to get the best athletes in that market. And as I've said numerous times, and I say it today, our franchise teams, our teams, Major League Football teams, will be just as good, if not better, than any other professional football team. That includes the NFL. And if the NFL doesn't believe it, play us, okay? Because with good coaching, there's so many great athletes out there that we're going to find them. So we got to be fair in the process of finding the best players. So we can't just take on a team, as this one coach had proposed to us, because we got to have each franchise, all participant players, you know, try to find the best players in each franchise market. So, and number two, they're in Baltimore, okay? Baltimore has the Ravens, okay, the NFL. Our business plan was to go into non-NFL markets and give these great communities, the cities, the communities, the states, a team of their own. So, like the Raiders left Oakland, so that's why we have a team in Oakland, to give them a team that will never leave. Same with San Diego. Now, and Arkansas has one. Alabama, I cannot believe they don't have a professional football team. It's crazy to me. But now they do in the fall on Sundays. So as far as expanding in the future, Adam, that's a great question. Right now, we are focused on 24 teams in the first season, and then we'll see what develops. But yeah, we do plan to expand in the future and add more teams, but we just really got to focus on the 24 that we have now. Also, he asked about broadcasting. Adam did. I commented on that. And then preseason, he asked. We will not have a preseason the first season. We kick off the first week of September, and that is regular season. And you know, preseason's good to work out the kinks, but you know, so for the future, we don't know. We have not. That has not even been something we've discussed. We just know that our first season will not be preseason. So let's move on to the next question. Mark Spear. Okay, now that he was asking about the players and coaches being paid. I discussed that. The two coaches. There was another coach that wants to bring the team on out of Mississippi, Tevin Scales. And Coach Scales, we'd love to talk to you. I believe we are in talks with you from what my team has mentioned. But again, all the players will have to try out for that Mississippi franchise if we add that team. And that was, so I mentioned that. Okay, and then here's an interesting question here. So this one says, this is an old email, but because it says Happy 4th, very excited for Major League Football to come in 2025. I see you have a team planned for South Dakota. I live in Sioux Falls and would love a chance to help build Major League Football. That's from Jesse Fisher. Jesse, we appreciate, we love you too as well, to help us build the team, to help build the league. And guys, all employment, whether it be a paid position, a volunteer position, an intern position, please email team@majorleaguefootball.pro and indicate what level of interest you have and what you want to do, whether it be coaching, whether it be volunteering. We just had a talk yesterday, I did, with a gentleman that's in finance, and Eric, super good guy that wants to be a part of Major League Football on the financial side of things. That was going to be a huge help to us. And guys, we get a lot of great people from those of you that just reach out to us. So keep reaching out, and we're trying to find the best talent for the league. Okay, so let's move on here. Bear with me. This is about job opportunities again. I put these in here because I wanted for those of you to know, just a team at Major League Football Pro. We got an email from Brody that gave us a bunch of good team names. Brody, you gave us some great names. Now, guys, I want to tell you, when you suggest or recommend these team names, we can't announce them on Building It because a lot of them, like the ones Brody sent, those are in consideration. So we have to do a screen, and then we have to register with the United States Patent and Trademark Office through our trademark attorneys. So we can't say the name, but once we select it, I do know Brody gave us some great names, and we're going to make sure that we take care of Brody for that. So Brody, great job on the team names. Okay, also this one here is from Stephen Ellison. Stephen wants great news, can't wait for your games, will they be on YouTube? And Stephen, that's a good question. I think everything, YouTube seems to pick up everything. So I don't think it'll be channeled through us, but it'll be channeled through whoever we broadcast with or stream with, whether it be FanDuel, ESPN, CBS. But I do know it's just a matter at the end of the day, this is a business of, Major League Football is a business like the NFL is. So it's really what best financial opportunities are available for us the first season, and then we'll develop from there. Heather Sheffer is asking, where is the North Carolina franchise being played and where is Alabama? North Carolina, Heather, we are playing in Durham at the Durham County Memorial Stadium. Zach there is our facility manager there that works for Durham. Super good guy, been great to work with, as most of our, almost all of our facilities are. Alabama, working with Linus over there at Legion's Field in Birmingham. That's our stadium there. So, and guys, so we're about to start announcing all of our locations. So, for example, Arkansas is being played in Little Rock, and across the board, we're going to be letting you know exactly what stadium we're playing in and what city. So, guys, that kind of wraps it up with this week's. We got a ton of good questions, and keep the questions coming. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you this coming fall and winter and spring as we travel and take Building It on the road and build the franchise, each franchise for Major League Football. And I just can't wait. I'm so excited. So starting next week, we're going to have guests back on Building It, whether it be coaches, sponsors, players. So again, guys, please email. Love to have you on the show. And we're going to try to keep you up to date with everything as much as we can. So on that note, have a great week. Thanks again so much for tuning into this week's episode of Building It, and we will see you next week.